Watch this video and see how to do chaturanga, upward facing dog and downward facing dog.
Let's go.
Hi, I'm Jenn Witaconis. I'm a yoga instructor in the Tampa Bay area, and today we're going to break down the vinyasa. So that includes starting in plank pose. So I'm going to come down onto the hands and knees first. From plank pose, we'll be going into chaturanga or half push-up, and then graduating into upward facing dog or cobra, and then it's a down dog, downward facing dog. So you can also do this in a modified way if you are a beginner. And first I'm just going to show you the traditional vinyasa and what it looks like. And then we'll break down some of the modifications for it. So you're going to step back into a plank pose. Plank pose here, you want your shoulders stacked over your wrists. Strongly press the palms down into the earth to protract the space between the shoulder blades. Okay, and you want to let the heels just about stack over the balls of the feet, but press back into the heels a little bit. Get some core action going, tighten the lower stomach, and breathe with the center of the upper stomach, your diaphragm muscle. All right, so from your plank pose, you'll be lowering down halfway, hugging the elbows in for support. This is chaturanga. Exhale. Inhale over the toes, upward facing dog. And then exhale back into downward facing dog. So again, this can be a little bit more advanced of a process if you're a beginner especially. So let's back it up. You're gonna start out in our first modification on the hands and knees. You wanna check in that when you come down, whether you're coming down into modified or full chaturanga, that you shift the shoulders in front of the wrists so that the elbows stay stacked over the wrist. You want that joint stackage to protect your joints. So we're gonna come down first into this modified chaturanga. We're gonna shift the shoulders in front of the wrist, lower down, all the way onto the belly. Once you get down, your legs stay active. This is now called a cobra pose because the thighs will stay on the earth. The legs, again, will stay active in a rotation of the thighs. Okay, and then go ahead and lift your belly, lift your chest off the ground. Squeeze your glutes tight to protect your lower back. And if you feel any crunching, you're gonna come down lower or come out of it altogether. Elbows stay in, that's your cobra pose. Come up onto the hands and knees, and you can come back from there, curling the toes under and lifting the hips into downward facing dog. Or if you have any injuries that prevent you from doing downward facing dog, let's back it up again. Hands and knees, and then coming back into child's pose. So sink the hips back towards the heels, let the arms extend through the palms of the hands into the earth, forehead softening. So that's the first step that we want to get comfortable with. Moving on to the next modification that you can do. You can start in plank pose if you feel comfortable with plank. Okay? Get that strong plank in first. Your alignment is important. Inhale, exhale, bring the knees down. This is called 8 points touching. So for this second modification, you're gonna once again shift the shoulders in front of the wrist, then you'll bring the chin and chest towards the floor. All right, keeping that elbow over wrist stackage as much as you can. Then drop the hips and let the chest lift into your cobra pose. You don't have to straighten the arms all the way. If they don't straighten, the elbows will bend a little bit, and that's okay. As you open your chest and shoulders, you can gaze up slightly, don't throw your head back, then exhale onto your hands and knees and straight back to child's, or if you're feeling like you can come back into down dog, from hands and knees, you're going to curl the toes under and lift into your downward facing dog. All right, nice strong down dog. Usually we take 3 to 5 breaths, or you're going to go into a flow from here. Before we go any further, I want you to check out a video that I have for you. It's free, 15 core isometric exercises. Scroll down to the pinned comment below. And so let's just get back into the vinyasa again. We're gonna put this into action. So I'm starting on hands and knees because we're gonna come back into a downward facing dog like we just did a vinyasa. All right, and so in our down dog, And then just go ahead and try to slide your big toes towards the center of the mat. You're gonna come into three-legged dog. So inhale, reach your right leg up high. And exhale, try to float your right foot as close as you can between your hands. Wherever it lands is fine. You'll leave your left heel up. Inhale, we're coming into lunge. Let the inner thighs engage, press through that left heel behind you. Inhale and exhale, reach up. Good, take an inhale, one more, lengthen through the fingertips, and then exhale, bring the hands down. You'll step back into plank, so we're putting this in motion now. Think about where your plank pose is. It can be here or dropping the knees down like we did. Chaturanga, so halfway down, or you can do 8 points touching. Inhale, upward facing dog, or cobra if your thighs are still on the mat. Thinking about those modifications. Exhale back. So your downward facing dog. We'll try the other side, but I'm going to do this in modified for you so that if you are still feeling like you're not quite comfortable with doing the full traditional vinyasa, you can come back to one of those two other options. So slide the big toes to the center of the mat, lift the left leg high, three-legged dog. Inhale deeply, exhale, let your left foot float somewhere between the hands, wherever it lands. On your inhale, you can come up on your fingertips here as you station your left knee over your left ankle. Press through your lifted heel behind you and reach up. Few breaths. Hearing and feeling your breathing. On your exhale, come down, sweeping the hands to frame the left foot. Step back into plank. You can go into full traditional vinyasa like we just did before, or if you need to modify, drop the knees down, take an inhale, shift the shoulders forward in front of the wrists, come down into 8 points touching, exhale, take an inhale, drop the hips down and lift the shoulders, lift the chest, gaze up slightly, let the neck lengthen away from the shoulders, press the palms into the earth, and then exhale, come back into your downward facing dog. Once again. So coming forward, let's just go over that first modification one more time so that you kind of have it solidified into your mind for when you practice more, because the more you practice, the better you get at this. So from hands and knees, that first modification, knees down, shoulders shift forward, come all the way onto your belly. Exhale. Inhale. You can slide your hands just about under the shoulders and lift your chest and belly off the ground till you start to feel the chest and shoulders open up. Keep the legs active and about hip distance apart, internally rotating the thighs. Exhale from your cobra pose onto your hands and knees and straight back into your child's pose, or if you're feeling like you can do a down dog, once again, coming back onto your hands and knees, backing up a little bit, you can curl the toes under and lift into your downward facing dog. So vinyasa can be a challenging process to learn, but the more that you do it, the better you're going to get. So go ahead and comment below if you have any questions at all. And make sure you like and subscribe. Scroll down to the pinned comment below and check out our 15 isometric exercises. I know you'll love it. Thanks.